Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Sporia Campaign. Last time, we continued to reinvest our riches into our expanding nation. We recently took a massive amount of territory from Scythia in the Brisenthia region, and we actually claimed even more territory with some migrators, taking the Bityug province in full, as well as beginning the process of filling in what I've been calling the Scythian Gap. This territory in the middle of our Scythia region holdings, where some other Scythian tribes linger on, but not for long, because we have a claim getting prepared against Lecta. We should be able to go to war with them in the next year, and actually exactly 1 year according to this, so that's pretty handy. They're going to call in their ally Hikar, which we want to happen, as this will let us clear out both the Hispania Minoris territory, as well as what remains of the Hispania territory. Now, the Tonarque Niconia situation is a bit more complicated. Tonarque is currently fighting Niconia and their overlord Gedia, and what I hope to have happen is that Tonarque wins this war and conquers Niconia, so I can then claim Tonarque and get the rest of the territory in one fell swoop. Anything that keeps me out of fighting a slightly larger sort of external neighbor like Gedia would be preferable, but ultimately, whenever this war finishes, I'll probably just fight the winner for the territory. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Now, other than that, we do have some potential border changes happening soon. Alanya is getting really badly beaten by Armenia, whose color is so similar, sort of like Scythia and I, that it's kind of hard to tell whose territory is where, but Armenia is occupying much of the Alanian western territory. Similarly, in the north, Kerochia and Agripaia are going back and forth. This war has been going on for a little while now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Kerochia win this one, but they seem to be struggling against Agripaia despite their numerical advantage. So, interesting stuff all around. We do also have this sort of southern Bersenthian defensive league that lingers on, with Pirhirchi involved in this, as well as Nuria, Zavolichitsky, and Salia. Now, all of these guys are aligned with one another, but they are not connected with Kerochia, who they probably don't have good relations with. So I could potentially attack one of them. I think I do have a claim on Zavolichitsky. I also have a claim on Pirhirchi. Wait, no, I'm reading it the wrong way. I do have a claim on them. Nuria has a claim on me, and I don't have a claim on these guys. So I could get into a war with them through fighting Pirhirchi or Zavolichitsky. It probably is worth getting around to this sooner or later as I prepare for my next major planned war, which is a war with Kerochia. Likely Kerochia, probably Agripaia won't win the war, but whoever is here to seize the Bersenthian land held by them. So we're going to sort of gain control over Bersenthia section by section here, but that's how it has to be. First things first, though, let's focus on the southern matters. And of course, even before that, we are still working away at getting our tyranny down. We're now approaching the 80 range, which is going to help a little bit in our loyalty situation. Character loyalty hasn't been a serious problem recently, I say. Oh, this is the aunt of the governor, never mind. So yeah, I thought that might be the governor for a moment, but then I thought I would have noticed if there was a disloyal governor in my midst. But no, character loyalty is fine right now. Provincial loyalty is largely under control. It is under control, or at least it's getting under control. We're not in the best shape ever, but we are getting there. So I think the time for a little bit of expansion is here. We also don't have too much AE, so we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and just unpause, stop yapping away. And yeah, some of our mines should be finished kind of soon. Do I have more mines I can build? Not really, for base metals at least. Okay. What do we have here? Portus Veneris. Interesting. Barbs are still at it. That's fine. I'm going to let them deplete themselves once they get this last territory. There we go. All right. Continues to lower that. My truce with Scythia is up in 501. I don't really expect them to attack me when the truce is up. They shouldn't feel confident about an attack like that, but I didn't think that attacked me before either, so maybe I should be a little more weary of this. With the I mean, this will be done well in time, so we should be completely fine. The Scythian wall is even stronger now than it was before, so I don't think we're in serious danger of Scythia successfully pulling anything off here, but of course we shall see what ends up happening with that. And then with the deity selection coming up, I think I'd probably go for Lightba again. I could go for Sirna from the Tribesman Happiness. There's an argument for switching out some of these deities for other Waira deities. I don't want to switch in any non-Waira deities. At least I think I don't. Yeah, no, I want to keep Waira Happiness maximized. Swap by religion. Yeah, where is it at the bottom? Omen Fort Maintenance could be nice, just to have. Let's see. We might be reaching the time to switch in Perunos as well. I can certainly afford the stability right now. Yeah, not the worst idea. This is a switch I've been wanting to make for such a long time. In fact, I could even do the switch now. This would bring me down to 40 stability, which is completely fine. We'd get better trend. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do the switch now. I won't be able to switch in Waira for the Civ change, which is probably one of the better, just passive, or not passive, one of the better Omen bonuses to have if there's nothing else needed. But for now, this is fine. Let's see here. Pop growth passive is actually pretty solid for this. Although, no, you know what? Tribesman output is obviously much more solid than that, so never mind. We're going to keep in Ovinos as they are. Let's see. Yeah, with so many slaves, I do think ultimately Pop Happiness is better for me than the higher Tribesman Happiness right now. I think that is pretty much guaranteed. Okay, that's fine. The other thing I could do is I could start fortifying some other unfortified capitals, which I do have around here, such as Zitha, which I want to make sure is the largest territory before I take this stuff. I need to not forget about that. In fact, I'm so worried about forgetting about that. I'm going to move people in now. Let's just move in tribesmen for now. Maybe kind of like that, and then like that. There we go. That should be sufficient. And then I may as well just get these fortified. And I'm pretty sure I picked these locations already. It was a long time ago. This does line up with Uz, which I'm sure was on purpose. And it also does line up with Ursula's. Yeah. I made a lot of lines before I entered Scythia that are now a little out of date, or don't really mean that much, but these locations are still good. This is still a good location, incidentally. It also does have Triumph and Revoke City Status still. I don't think this would be a different spot than this. Can I think of any reason I'd want this one to be in a different spot? Not really. It lines up with Uz for the Percenthia border, which I like. Yeah, I think I'll just fortify it in place. As for where the capital will be over here, I guess we can kind of figure that out now. Also, Ursula's as a fort probably isn't needed as much anymore, now that this is an internal area. So I'm going to actually, yeah, take away the Ursula's fort. It does open up, there was a fort line there that I have now gotten rid of. That being said, I could recreate the fort line with the fort over here, potentially. Maybe. Not quite, actually. Ursula's was the only one. I guess I can recreate the fort line with the river. So if this was fortified, it doesn't fully connect with the river, nor does it connect with this. Was Oksha the intended? I wish I need to remember which episode I picked Oksha as the capital and why I picked it. It was probably to line up with Uz. That's the only reason I can sort of see clearly why I would have picked it. It also did line up with Ursula, so this feels intentional that I picked this spot. Does it matter as much that it still lines up with Uz? Whichever... oh yeah, I think I want Teteriv to be the capital over here. And that does line up with Oksha. So you know what, yeah. I remember now. The plan is for this to be the... this is a crazy spot for a fort as well. Marsh on 2 river crossings. Yeah. Okay, so Oshka, I am going to commit to it with the fort. Yeah, I think ultimately, although this does help with fort coverage, the need for dense internal fort coverage is pretty unnecessary this far west in Scythia and kind of by the border. I don't think this is ultimately going to come up very often, and it'll save me a little bit of money. Basically just moving the fort over. Over here, Skira, I intend to likely be the fort permanently. Yeah, should be fine. And then over here, with fort coverage here, fort coverage at Ad Verdicum, there's not really a clear spot over here. I could even maybe move the Ad Verdicum fort, potentially. I don't know. Let's see. Fort man mode. It lines up with Ukir Nyika. Okay, so if this was here. I think Yukta is probably the best spot. It is a good spot. It's forest. Steppe horse I don't care about. It's on a river, but that's quite nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think Yukta is probably the best spot over here. It doesn't quite line up with Zetha, but that's okay. Zetha lines up with the river, and then this crossing will be covered by this. I think this is fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, let's go with Yukta. I think Yukta is the right distance from Ukrinika. It's a little close to Ad Verdicum, but every place I could pick is a little close to Ad Verdicum, except for Kura, which is right next to, well, it's close to Ukrinika, and I don't think Kura is an amazing spot. I could have this be a farm instead. And this is also the right distance away from Oshka. So, yep, let's have Yukta be the planned provincial capital. Glad we worked that one out. All right. Now that I've spent that stability, I probably don't want to spend stability on the law change after all. So let's instead save up PI for Divine Sacrifice. Dautautus Manuel Titus, the High Priest, was killed in a freak accident. Okay. Rest in peace. Anyone upset? Any families? No, I can just pick whoever I like. There's the former High Priest who's super corrupt, so probably not you. Let's see here. Ambitious reduces loyalty, but you have amazing zeal otherwise. Alright. Gentautus, welcome in. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. That's pretty good. Prominent centralization. I will not be gaining centralization. I mean, it doesn't matter that much. I can lose it right away. I don't like losing loyalty on Lima, but I will lose a lot of loyalty on Weisbarchus by doing this. Yeah, let me go ahead and let things progress naturally. Next month is another tyranny reduction. They pieced out? Okay. Did Armenia feed territory to Mila? Did Mila have all this before? I think they did. Was this like a white piece? What happened here? I think it might have been a white piece. Not 100% sure, but it doesn't seem like either side really took too much, or really took anything at all. Okay. Guess that's fine. I could also fortify up here a little bit now that I have some more money. I suppose I probably should, in case I do fight Kirochia, or in case Kirochia gets a claim on me, I should have at least some basic fortification in the north. I've put it off long enough, honestly. I've got the money for it. Okay, so I think this is still the best spot up here. Let's build that fort. Over here, let's see. Ultimately, it doesn't have the best ever internal coverage with Turintia, but I picked this spot here. You know, I picked a number of spots over here because they lined up with the Brasenthia border, which I'm now intending to expand further east. Right, so some of these picks are now not quite as important to keep in their exact same spot. This one does have internal coverage with Turintia and with Arisia, and also with Grzutz, and this lines up with the... So I think these... I remember spending like 5 business days looking at this area to lay out all the coverage. So I should just keep it as it is. I don't think there's any need to make any big changes around here. It does all line up, and it keeps... Oh, you know what? This doesn't cover the crossing. Why did I think it did? Okay. That's... Oh wait, yeah, I didn't build a fort there before, so of course it doesn't cover the crossing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're both about the same. I mean, I could put it directly on Carbonia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I put it here, it still doesn't have coverage with Grzutz. It also loses coverage with Glitu. I think this is fine. It's the name settlement for the province. It's not gonna... This is such a gangly province. It doesn't matter where I put it. It's not gonna have good coverage no matter what. I think it's fine to just leave it at that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got good internal coverage. Yeah, the fact it doesn't actually cover the crossing is a little sad. So what this will do, though, is it will create an entryway. So let's see. 1, 2. Okay, you know what? The entryway, or the uncovered area, only goes into this section here, and then it's blocked off by the wall of fort coverage. So I think that's what I had realized initially. So I think it's fine to just fortify where everything is right now. I guess one final chance to switch out it from Glitu so I could build a mine here instead. Where else could I put it, though? That has... Okay, so Janiscus is the same distance from Arisia. Everything is too far from Crononia, so there's no point even trying at that point. Unless I put it here, which is actually the right distance from Arisia. It's actually still the right distance from Grzutz. It's a little close to Turuntia, and it's in kind of a weird spot in the province, but it would, you know, connect up here. Why else did I put it in Glitu? I'm trying to remember. This lines up with both. Is it worth it just for the mine? I think it probably yes, honestly. Pagramancio. It's so close to Turuntia, though. Okay, if I put this here, and I relocated Turuntia to Turuntia Borealis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would protect the crossing. It's pretty much the same kind of territory. It has less coverage in the south. You know what? I am going to do... Because I'm putting so much thought into locating these capitals that are just forts. They're not good territories otherwise. I may as well, now that I don't need to worry about fortifying this area super heavily, make the change now. So we'll move from Glitu into Pagramancio. Okay. Fortify it. You move up to Torrentia Borealis. There you go. Okay, and that does cover the crossing. And over here, I think this stays in place. This is a good spot over here. Which means over here, this can be moved. So this stays. This is also not a long-term... Oh, I actually ran out of money. Wild. This will be fortified, though. And you know what? Maybe I should switch this over to harsh treatment just temporarily. It's not lowering that fast. I can get away with that. Over here, this can actually switch from harsh treatment. Well, probably not all the way to bleed them dry. Actually, no, this is, yeah, this is Percentia. Let's see. Encourage trade? Or no, I should... For a tribesman build, I should probably go for acquisition of wealth. I don't think changing this is imminently necessary. Let's leave it as it is. But as for where the capital should be, I think Plisa is the best spot here. It'll cover this crossing, which this will free up this province to have other capital locations. And it also lines up with Grizuts. It is a little far from Orisia. There's an opening here, but that opening just enters into the fort area around here once everything's fortified. Oh, this is a stone location, though. Ah, that's unfortunate. I don't really want to do it there, then. Maybe Guta? Oh, did I not, did I miss a building here? This should not be. Why? What? I do not remember there being infrastructure. Didn't I colonize this? No, I took this from, right, I took this from, whatever they were called, the guys who lived up here. I forgot what they were called. That's right, I must have forgotten to check all the buildings. Colonia is probably fine to keep there for now. Yeah, Colonia can go, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, Gucci's got good coverage. It is close to Grizuts, though. I could move the Grizuts location to Palline. It's still too far from Torrentia Borealis, but this also covers... This also has good coverage. In fact, I think it may have better coverage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it has better coverage in the province, which is nice. And if I moved that there... So if I moved this here, and then I had... Oh, this... It technically could be a logging camp. Yeah. I should... I don't know, man. Ah! Okay, hold on. I think... So if I keep it at Grizuts... Grizuts is also the right distance from Orisia, which we shouldn't overlook. So, the question is... I could put it at Yelena, which would also get me the coverage with Lenikno. But over here, let's sort of plan ahead. Where is the capital going to be over here? Ideally something that covers... So if I had something over here, so for example, Lepiel, Woad, so this would not be a resource territory. It's plains, which isn't... Yeah, this is plains, okay, sure. Plains over here in Lepiel. That would cover both of these crossings, which is very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay coverage. But then I kind of squeeze in the capital location in here. It has to be squeezed between Grizuts and Lepiel, which doesn't really leave a lot of spots that is efficient. Alternatively, okay, if I consider, so if it's in Plisa or Yelnya, probably be in Yelnya to get coverage here. Occupation welcomed, interesting. That would cover Luknio. Then I could instead do, let's see, Lukom Liskoye with Saro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually. That's good coverage. Why don't I wait, actually, to decide until I control the territory? No, let me plan it. I can figure this out by planning. It'd be cool to have Minsk, which is an actual famous location that I know about from real history. Who am I kidding? From playing Hearts of Iron 4, the way that I learn all my geography. And sometimes playing Imperator Rome teaches me stuff, but usually the names are so different. But either way, it'd be cool to have Minsk be the actual capital, but Plains and Wood, that sounds like a logging camp location to me, so probably not. Let's see here. Where would I even start with the location here? Okay, so let's pull up the fort coverage map mode again. So not here and not here. And this is too close as well, so not there. So, let's see. This could be a farm. It could be here. Salt Forest. Could also be here. This could be vegetable farm, though. If it's in Berezina, let's see. So this is a good spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is a really good spot. Berezina. Do I put it in Saro directly? I mean, that would work. Is salt a food resource? I always forget how salt works. Let me find a salt territory that I control. Surely I can find one without resorting to... Here we go. No. Salt is not a building resource in this mod. I think some mods make it a farming settlement resource. Saro's not a terrible spot, actually. It does directly control both crossings. Which then means... Then we're back to the problem of where do I put it in Chicinia Superioris. I guess, you know, Guta becomes the correct location then. It's the right distance from Sado. It's the right distance from... No, it's too close to like Grzutz, but who cares how close it is to Grzutz? Do you care about that? I don't. I shouldn't care about that, but I do. I am gripped at all times by painful levels of caring too much about how close things are to Grzutz, it seems. And then I could then move it from Grzutz, and then kind of restart the whole thing, reinitiate all the pain and turmoil once more. It's like this is the cycle of civilization. You want to place it next to Grzutz, then you want to place it further away, then you want to place it by Grzutz, then you want to move it from Grzutz. Okay. Let's lock in here. Let's make some moves here. Okay, if I put it in, I should also look at this province as well. Okay, let's do it like this. We know for sure. I'm committing. I'm spending this entire episode making this decision, which I'm probably going to forget about. The fort goes in Teteriv. That means fort coverage on this side is attended to, but that doesn't matter too much. So Teteriv is the fort here, which means north of the river. A strong fort location. So this location here is pretty much protected. So if I put it in any of these three spots, it would cover both crossings on this side. Let's see. Salahorsk would also work, though. This is forest, hemp. I'm fine losing that. Salahorsk is a power spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It technically covers both crossings just by itself. It is a little close to Bialystok. Alright, let's keep looking. This is too far south. It really is a good spot, though. It's just... I mean, this is really not a big deal. It should be fine to put it here. I think Salahorsk is probably the best spot, which then makes Berezina a little too close. So if it's at Salahorsk, I guess I could put it at Minsk, but maybe not. Maybe instead I put it at Berezino. Put it at Berezino. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't really cover anything specific though, and it then squeezes out too much over here. I could that farm location. These are all farm locations. This mine location. There's no. It's the most complicated strategic choice I've ever made in my life, apparently. Okay, hold on. I'm getting ultra subject stuck over here on this one thing that's not that big of a deal. I'm committed to figuring it out. You know what? Why don't I just play the game? Let's see how things play out. I don't need to move this capital right this second. And in terms of whether or not I fortify Grzuts, I can also, because it was paused, but I deleted some buildings, so I have more money now. I think ultimately, oh, there is one more option for where Grzuts could be. No, I already ruled this out. Yeah, Diku's a little too far away. Let's just leave it. I can't decide on Grzuts until I know the rest of this layout, so let's just leave it for now. One thing at a time here. How's my claim coming along? We should probably get the army ready to go. I think just the local army should be fine for this. Gosh, of course, you came from the other side of the earth. Get over here. And then let me also bring in the Bersenthian army, you know, to the extent that they are an army. That should be enough. We could put Hekar under siege at least. Turn up maintenance. Alright, what do we have now? Disloyal chiefs? Not on my watch. Don't really like spending political influence right now, but I am not giving these people free hands. No way. Alright, that'll have to do. Any other disloyal characters? None specifically. Okay. How's the war going over here? Still going. No major changes, it seems. You know, I think I actually have time to move around like this. But I can go into Lecta immediately. Ooh, okay, Rome won the Punic War. No surprise there. Good to know. Let me move in a little... Actually, no, stay there, because I don't want to get caught in the zone of control, in case that were to happen. Alright, Fortress of Pure is done. Nice. A landslide. Misery upon misery. We have terrible news from Tanis. In Subcarpathia, which has been suffering from bad weather. Take me to Tanis, please. Come on, there must be a button that takes me there. Or whatever, I have to find it myself. Okay. Alright, let's see. I can gain popularity, lose some money. They may destroy the local building. Okay, I don't think there was a building. Oh no, anyways. Can Waldus could gain Brave. Okay. I don't think I need the popularity that badly. That's fine, I don't care about the people of Tanis at all. second wave? Uh-oh. That's not good. More landslide activity. Maybe I should have cared. Imagine that. All right, here we go. January 1st, 500. We're going to be reselecting Lipa, I think. Let's quickly check and see. Who else can we get over here? Ooh, Putukos is really good. Enough that I might actually switch in Putukos right now for the PI gain. Yeah, I think it's actually worth it, frankly. Yeah, the PI gain is a game changer. Let me adjust this real quick. Okay. Which means I guess I should select Cyrna then for my Omen. And I'm about to go to war, but that's it's not going to stop me. Okay, no other cooldown stuff to worry about. Sacrifice is not on that cooldown. Maybe I should make it on the cooldown, but for now, nothing to do there. We're still waiting for Stab. Okay, I think we're good to just double check, because if I don't double check, it'll be the one time. Yep, 505. We proceed. These guys weren't aware of my plans. They likely have figured it out by now. I am just standing there menacingly. Not standing, though, for long. Now it's time for moving. Alright, Lecta, here we go. Declare war, take Hipponia Minoris, bring in Hikar, bring them all in. Alright, up to Lecta you go. You guys get over to Hikar, just get it under siege. See what we can do here. And then, let me just make absolutely 100 billion% sure everyone here is not more than 6. Ooh. Just to be safe, I do not want to deal with this. One more person, come on over here. There we go, 7. Surely it'll not move now. And this I don't mind moving, because this was just the one territory that I had. Okay, let's proceed. This should be pretty smooth sailing. I'm being able to keep my core populate, yeah, one guy, completely fine. Being able to keep my core populations unraised is great. This is probably just an assault, frankly. Yeah, we're fine. Let's do the assault now. Get this over and done with. Fortress under siege, good. This is not enough for an assault. Well, it might be. At 250, it actually probably is enough for an assault. Let's at least do the assault and see how it goes. Trying to head over here. They awkwardly have an additional fort. I don't know why they do, but they do, so we have to... Oh, we actually did win the Hikar assault. Very nice. Let's fall in and probably just do another assault. Nice and quick there. This war will be a couple of months just because we had to walk around in such large territories. A bunch of my mines just finished, which means here comes the trade request from Egypt. I'm going to guess a Rome trade request. Yep. You've got to be kidding me. I literally said that. You just saw I said that, and then they immediately requested. I guarantee the moment you have extra base metals, the Romans, they show up. They want the base metals. Every single time the Romans said, can I just get a little bit more of those base metals, Misadventure, please? We need more of that. All right, who next? If I had to guess, I'm going to guess Parthia might be another requester, maybe Maria. Let's see if I'm guessing right. I can't believe I got that exactly right in that way. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Alright, maybe no one else wants my stuff for now. Soon they will. Let's let the tick go by and then we'll do the assault. We should be able to do the assault anyways, honestly, but just to ensure funny business is kept to an appropriate minimum. There we go. Here come the Hakar Mercs. Okay, a little late for that. Sue for peace. I have to wait for this to be transferred over, but I will just grab all of that. And we'll just wait here for now. We have to wait a couple of days. That's fine. He doesn't miss. I told you it would be Parthia next. It's every single time I get a new resource. The order of the people coming to buy my resource. It's Ptolemaics, and then Rome, and then Parthia. Every single time. Without fail. Can't believe how I guessed that exactly right. If it's Maria next, I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, here we go. This should be fine. And please, please don't move the capital from Zetha. I put in so much work to make sure Zetha would stay the capital. Please. Okay, thank God. Rock of Ages. Did this just pop up at the same time by coincidence? Okay, let's deal with that in a moment. In a ramshackle... Wait, where are my noble events? Don't those... Maybe this is pausing them. In a ramshackle farm on the outskirts of Shkek, Great Depression... where? Over here, I guess. Okay. A great depression in the ground mars the serene landscape. In the midst of this crater, a great immovable rock lies dormant. It is unlike anything our advisors have seen, and a scribe mentions a near-forgotten prophecy of a message sent to our people by the god of the sky himself. Within days, multitudes of people have flocked to see this unnatural edifice, many of them in fervent prayer. Truly, it seems the prophecy was true, and that Sporia has been chosen by the god of the sky to fulfill his bidding. Okay, that's nice. Is this a permanent? There's the events. Okay, well, I'll take that. Absolutely. What? Is this like base? Is this a reference to something? Okay, that's bizarre. Okay, let's go ahead, and I certainly don't want to spend tyranny to gain money right now. Let's go for losing the AE a little faster. Not too worried about that, though, frankly. Let a couple of days go by. Yeah, that's fine. All right. My name is now more appropriately massive, but it can still improve further once we get Tenarke and this stuff. I mean, once the people of Tenarke willingly join my empire with no coercion whatsoever, who do you think I am? All right. Down these guys go. That's fine. Okay, let's take a look at this mess we just inherited. So this certainly is not going to stay fortified, and this barracks can go. I actually wouldn't mind actually building barracks for more manpower, but really what I want is more tribesman infrastructure to get the manpower from the tribesmen. This would turn tribesmen into freemen. Not really my way of things here. Now, the fort could stay at Volyats, which is far from Zetha. It's the right distance from Oksha. It's a little close to Ad Verdicum, but I could move Ad Verdicum. It's also a little far from Ukrinika. It's also I should have started there. It's also a livestock territory, so no. Yukta still looks like a pretty good spot, honestly. It's the right distance from everything except Ad Verdum. It's a little close to Ad Verdum, but I could also move the place in Ad Verdum a little further away. Perhaps to Kleptodava. This could be yeah, Kleptodava is interesting. This would control the edge of the river, which I kind of like, although Ad Verdum does that as well. But this would extend my control in a way that accounts for the fort being over here at Skira, which I likely won't move it from. I miss out on a potential lumber mill, which is the main issue, but there's other strategic reasons to move it to Kleptodava as well. And I think of all the kinds of buildings to miss out on, I'm probably the most okay missing out on a lumber mill. Could also put it in Miram, though. Miram's another actually kind of good spot. Good as in it's not bad. That's the way I should phrase it. I basically don't need Ad Verdicum to be fortified imminently anymore, and I think I will actually move it from Ad Verdicum. So Miram is the right distance away. Oh, you know what? It actually is not quite the right distance. Loricata is a little close. I could move it from... Loricata is not actually a great spot either. I don't know. Why did I pick these spots? What was I doing? Let's see. Yeah, this should be a farm, frankly. I could move it a bit closer to Piro Borodava. No, I should... Okay, I cover the crossing down here. Yep. this is a great spot. I'm still impressed by. Let's see. So, Polondava, this spot leaves an opening over here, but it's otherwise good. This spot here allows an opening into the fort coverage, so this does successfully. And yeah, I think Piroborodava is actually probably a better spot. So let me move Loricata. Let me move the thing from Loricata over here. This can be a farm in the future. Okay, move capital. Oh. You know what? That's okay, though. I'll move it later. I know this will be the capital. The fort being built there tells me that. That's how it works. Okay, so this is also super duper far from everything. Although I could put it at Leptidava. So this is an interesting spot. This actually just perfectly lines up with, it's like the fort coverage around the river Piratus. This lines up with Olatis, and it also lines up with Piroborodava, which is going to be my sort of frontier fortress against Gedia, or whoever shows up here later. May end up being Berdivencia or Dacia if they form them. Yeah, I think we basically need to kind of reorganize our fortifications down here to line up now with the external Gedian line and not the internal stuff that I had built before. Okay, so Leptidava, it's also a good spot otherwise. It's not taking up anything useful. It is all... Oh, okay, you know what? It is going to be Leptidava because it's also the right distance from Lecta, which I... Oh, no, but Lecta's not a purposeful spot. I could put it in... No, that's too close. Or not too close, but that's... What am I trying to say? That's a farm location or a future farm. So is this, actually. Oh, my gosh. What is this? You know, perfect fort coverage around this river is not the biggest deal in the universe. Let me one thing at a time here. So, I think having it be at Leptidava focuses on fortifying the border with the Dacia and Moesia regions, which is probably a more important thing to focus on than internal fort coverage around the fort. If the AI pulls off a naval invasion behind my fort coverage, I should just, delete the campaign save at that point, because they clearly have figured out how to beat me at that point. So, well, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. We will respond to that if it happens, but I don't think it's a serious risk. I think Leptidava is probably the spot to move this to. It's fine at 37. Let me just make 100% sure. I'm completely sure about this. The other option is Miram, but Miram's too far here, and that leaves a fort gap in the middle here, if they get through. If they get through this, they can still ignore Leptidava and come along here until they get to Ukrainieka, but the AI doesn't usually do that. They usually want to control neighboring provinces, and they don't... Like, that kind of intelligence is not something I often see from the AI. I think Leptidava is probably fine. The main reason, or the main other thing too, is that Ad Verdicum just is going to prevent me from picking a good spot over here. So I guess the last thing to consider, because this original choice was, or this original entire conversation was because I didn't want to put it at Yukta because it was too close to Ad Verdicum. But if I move it from Ad Verdicum to Leptidava, then Yukta's super far away from it, but that's still probably okay. This covers the river there. This doesn't really cover the river, but Yukta's a good spot otherwise. It's the right distance from Ukrainieka. It's the right distance from Oksha. It's also forest on a river. Let's play the game. Let's select Yukta, and let's quickly go through. Slave estate can go. That'll have to be a farm. Why aren't you building farms? Don't you know how agriculture works? Surplus and specialization. You must do it. Haven't you seen how that works? Okay, we have a mine here already. That's great. Villa estate can go. All right, that'll be Yukta. Okay, final moment to think about this. Okay, because it doesn't actually technically prevent a Dacian invasion from sneaking along the mountain line, until they get up here at least, is there a reason to pick Leptidava over Klepidava? Yes, the forest. So Miram would be the other one. Miram's now too far from Yukta. It is... They're both the right distance from Olitz. This helps protect the river more, but so does this, honestly, because it controls Miram. I think Leptidava is the better spot, ultimately. I'm committing. Okay, I've made my choice. All right. Don't you love it when there's gameplay in this Let's Play series? All right. With that, I think I am content with my remanagement there. Now, while I'm looking over here, where was that mine? It's over here. All right. Pop info, disallow. Let's try to fill this mine up since it's already here. What do we need? 12? Okay. If you say so. I guess they do say so. Okay. Let's see here. Wait, is Krunug? Oh my gosh, it is. Throwing terribly. Let's fix that. Yeah, I can move them from Oksha, that's fine. Oksha. There we go. Now, please don't do that again. Me. Not from Kring, from somewhere else. Tumen, that's fine. Lekta is fine. 2 more. There we go. Oh my gosh, all right. Good stuff. Okay. All right, Ptolemaics, send me your trade offer. I know you want to. They're just, I'm sure they're writing it now. Maybe they already have enough base metals. Yeah, my commerce economy can... Oh, Galatia? All right, I admit I wasn't expecting... Oh, they want my steppe horses? If you say so. Can these guys, like, maybe kind of get this wrapped up? Because I'd like to get this unified here. Can I send them money to buy mercs so they can... you know, so they can deal with this. What do I have here? Colonizable. Yeah, Moronis, I know. Starving pops, yeah, if you say so. Really, over here? Okay, that's fine. Okay. I think now is the chance to actually save up my political influence and get, now that I'm down to 30, I should actually, because I've changed around a few gods. Ooh, Scythian legions. I don't like the look of that at all. They are kingdoms, they're allowed to have legions, but not great. Look at that legion composition. Heavy cav and horse archers? These guys have been reading the wiki. Okay. That's a little alarming. And Scythia is certainly interested in fighting me. Good thing the wall will hold them back. Okay, let's just proceed. I need this to hurry up and not be quite as unhappy so I can fix it. It's just stuck there perpetually. The best I can do is just keep lowering my tyranny. That's the main thing. What do we have here? Oreba. Interesting. Okay. This is all trending up. Good. Just barely. I don't like the Scythian Legion posting up across the river from Olbia. Can you maybe cut that out? That's only I'm allowed to do that, is to stand menacingly by my enemies. The Scythian local power of Tenarche canceled the access they had been given by us. Alright, I don't have the brain power to understand why you've done that. Alright, Tenarche. Yeah, if you think you don't need that, sure. Nabatea wants base metals. Okay, I guess Rome has enough base metals, and Egypt too. Ooh, Rome is conquering all the way into Cisalpine Gaul. Interesting. Lysimachid base metals. I'm still thinking about doing some sort of Lysimachid attack to get tech. I completely for sure would be able to get tech from them. Newfound tribesmen. After certain disagreements internally in Tenarche. Lots of Tenarche events right now. I've seen this event before. Ooh, this could put us at odds with Tenarche. You know, I kind of would be okay with that happening. Like, at this point, okay, the war's over. Was it just a white piece? It kind of looks like it was just a white piece. Shoot, okay. I may have to still end up fighting Getia. At least all the forts will be done by then, so that's a good thing I'm building them. Okay, yeah, Tenarche can square up. They are not gonna, they're not gonna have much luck against me, but alright, sure, if you insist. Yeah, a war against Lysimachids to get tech is an interesting idea. Is it a doable idea? Surely they've integrated the Propontics by now, and maybe the Idrisians. I don't know, actually. Is this not fortified? You control the most important location in the history of the world and you're not fortifying it? What are they doing? Okay, at least their capital's fortified. And they're building a third fort. Okay, that's fine, but what is this? I could make some serious crazy bank attacking these guys. Alright, who would they bring in? Pretty much everybody. They bring in everyone north of them over here. Kerbizia would come into, and Tribalia. Okay. Yeah, tribal vassals all come in, feudatories all come in too. It would be a pretty large-scale war, which I would likely want naval support to do. I guess I could just kind of... I could just kind of, you know, plow my way slowly through all of these forts. But the real good stuff is down here. Yeah. The thing is, if I controlled Dacia already, and I do think, by the way, that once I finish securing Scythia and I finish securing Brisenthia, I think, frankly, the next... I don't know, I'm saying it like that, like it's some big reveal. I have to reveal my secret plan, frankly. Frankly, the next region I'm probably going to go for is Dacia. Mostly just because it has really good natural borders with the river. And also, there's some gold in Dacia that I've noticed, so I kind of want that gold. Actually, quite a bit of gold in Dacia. So Dacia has some good resources. I also think Dacia would be a good target to get me closer to some of the Mediterranean countries so I could then fight for research. Lysimachids are first on the list, but Antipatrids, they're actually weaker than the Lysimachids now. Okay. Well, they have a bunch of allies, so they've allied all the Hellenes. Iolia, Emphisa, Megara, who else? Igon? Okay. Not too scary. Antipatrids might be a softer target. Okay. But then I have to reach them somehow. I could get multiple layers of military access, but do they have forts? Oh, they do, yeah, okay. Fair enough. But they have a couple cities. They're probably less valuable to sack than the Lysimachids, but they're probably an easier target. And the main thing is they just don't bring in billions of tags that I have to deal with. That's a lot of mercs that could come in. But they're more out of the way. I'd have to find a way to get down here. There's a couple good targets, though, for sure. Do I start actually building a navy? That's an interesting idea. That is an interesting idea. Obviously, without cities, I can't really ultimately have lots of naval infrastructure from like cities on the coast, but I can certainly build ports. Let's see, like this, for example, would be a good spot for a port because it doesn't have any other good territory characteristics for some other, in terms of like a resource like fish that I could have a farm at, stuff like that. I could do it here as well if I didn't want to have hunting camps. Tyrus would be a good spot, as would this. In fact, I could actually just keep the port that's here once I take it. start building ships over here. I'm going to probably have to do what Russia did and does, where it has ports on both the Baltic Sea and the Black Sea, and kind of have two different fleets. Now, it is possible with the rivers to actually transfer between them, which is nice, but it's a little cumbersome, and I don't really anticipate much naval action in the Baltic Sea. But the Black Sea, definitely quite a bit of potential. That being said, can I even hope to ever navally rival the Greek kingdoms? That's a big ask. Oh, yeah, Egypt, as usual, is a big naval power. How about Carthage? No? Okay. A 50-ship fleet would at least kind of get me into the conversation. Can I build... hold on. Do I have a port somewhere I can just check really quick? I kind of wish I did, actually. I don't think I do. Maybe it'll tell me still. I can't even look at it. Ugh, that's annoying. Can I build heavier ships as like a tribe? I think I'm allowed to, right? As long as I have the... Oh, you know what? I would need double ports to build heavier ships. So I think I'm stuck with Liburnians and triremes. I can at least build triremes to get an edge over Liburnians, but I can't build anything heavier because I need multiple layers of port to build them. And I guess I could technically like keep a city that I conquer just to have the port levels to build heavier ships, but that feels too against the challenge. I should really not do that, honestly. Lots to consider here. Yeah, I probably won't be able to have... I mean, of course I'm never going to navally really compete with AI because I can't build heavier ships, but I can at least have enough of a navy to get me around. And then there's the cost of it. I should have lowered that before, actually. That's a mistake, and I should lower this too. That's not really that much. I'll keep it on paid, honestly. Just in case I have another Scythian attack, which they could do kind of soon. Yeah, that's super annoying. But I think that an attack for getting research from the alt tech, or I mean the alt peace deal mod is an interesting idea. I have to get a claim on them somehow. I could actually attack them through one of their vassals if I could get a claim on someone like these guys. It could also just be a claim on them, though. Or on Antipatrons. I'll have to think about this. You know, even Getia would actually probably be someone I could fight and get a alt peace deal from. But then the problem is I'd have to fight them twice, because I would need to fight them to get this, and I couldn't do the alt peace deal and get this at the same time, and this is the bigger, more important thing. I think technically even Cauconzia has more tech than me right now. You guys bring in... Okay, I'll have to think about that. Alright, we're almost there. On Divine Sacrifices. Unfriendly neighbors. Okay, Tenarchy has declared us an enemy of their nation. Oh, spread of ideas from Nabatea. Ooh, okay. This is great. This is exactly what I hope to have happen. Okay, here's the question. Do I go for selective immunity right now? There's a number of things I'd like to get. And I think, frankly, selective immunity is actually worth going for right now. This is just going to make things so much easier for me without the loyalty malice to do corruption sanctions. I don't currently need it right this second, but I've seen from the past how important this would be. So let's spend the innovations to get there. And I will go the faster way that is less useful. But shady connections, establishing connections with the shady guilds and colleges willing to do wet work for the right price is a sad but necessary state of affairs. Espionage, inspired us all to cost minus 25%, enables the espionage character interaction. Forming a network of sympathetic minds in foreign nations makes it a lot easier to affect changes outside our borders. And then, here's the interesting question. Do I go for the better situated diplomatic immunity for 1 extra dip rep, or 15% dip range? I don't think I need this imminently. I can always come back for this later. I have no major potential trade partners who I'd reach with this, so let's go with diplomatic immunity. The distance between seats of government means that the safety of ambassadors must be sacrosanct, who must all speak on the same terms. And then, finally, selective immunity. Clearly, any laws requiring the indictment of our ruling classes makes ruling very difficult indeed. They should be amended with this new principle in mind. Yes! And it also helps with my corruption loss. Monthly corruption loss on everybody all the time is very nice. Now, I wouldn't mind her getting to 15 corruption so I could do it. In fact, I think I might honestly reduce wages temporarily to lead to that happening. Let's see, how far away are you? Just a couple of months. Let's let those months go by and close things out here with a sanction with no loyalty loss on her. How's my health doing? Healthy still, okay. Sarah, what's my, whatever that was, I think it was base metals. I also don't think I need these characters to be favorited anymore. Should be next month, I think. Maybe after a few days. Give her a couple of days here. There it is. Impose sanctions, as well as the tyranny cost, which is fine. But this is worth 1.5 thousand men for this. Impose sanctions, and then wages are back up. Good. All right, that will ultimately save me a little bit of money. Okay, very good. Let's get to the end of the month and take stock of things. Okay. Oh, Carthage wants step horses. Nice. I think our next target is probably going to be this defensive league. Assuming Tenarque doesn't actually attack me. They do have a claim on me. I don't think the Tenarque AI is stupid enough to actually attack me, but I can't attack them very easily, which is a shame. I also can't attack these guys very easily. I may have to just come back for this later. I'll give this some thought, but I think I probably want to get ready for war with the Hirchi Defensive Alliance finally. Oh, also Kirochia won their war. Okay, I thought that would happen. They still don't have a claim on me, though. So now's my chance to quickly swoop in here and clear out these guys around Kirochia before I can fill in the gaps and focus on them. Basically, yeah, I can go in, I can colonize this, take over the rest of this stuff, and just have the remaining territory of Percenthia be Kirochian land that I can then take from them in a follow-up war. So I think that looks pretty good. We can kind of unify our... We've worked towards unifying and reconnecting our south. We can now focus on unifying and sort of closing together our north as we get ready for potential wars in the south. Lots to think about there. But that'll be it for this episode of the Sporia Campaign. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.